Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be working on rolls. Okay, so our warm-up is going to be really reliant on the movements that we're going to be doing for our rolls. So it's going to be kind of like a warm-up to get our bodies ready, but it's also going to teach us the mechanics of the roll. So we can kind of break it down, and if there's any part of the roll where you feel like you're struggling, look back at the other parts. That way you can kind of see it might be one of the little pieces that you might be missing that's kind of keeping you from getting that perfect roll, okay? So first, we're just gonna start seated on our hips. And really what I want you to just do is rock forwards and backwards on your hips. Kind of feel your hips rolling back, feel your hips rolling forward, okay? Now, to warm up our hips as well, we're gonna rock back. Then we're gonna reach forward, rock back, reach forward. Okay, so we're just rocking back and forth right now. This is getting us used to that finish, how we're gonna be coming out of the roll, okay? So this warm-up isn't necessarily gonna be in succession to, this is first part of the roll, second part, third, but it's gonna come pretty close, okay? Right now we're kind of in the middle where we're finishing the roll, okay? Middle to the end. All right, from here, we're gonna lean back, okay, and we're just gonna hug our knees, and we're gonna squeeze our knees to our chest, and you see how my hips are coming up? I wanna drive my hips down towards the ground, okay? So here, I'm just gonna hang out for a few seconds, and then I'm gonna start rocking side to side, okay? So rock side to side. If you fall over, that's fine, you can just reset yourself. But right here, you want to try to control your body, okay? You just relax, you're going to fall over. But if you hold control, you can stop yourself, okay? Next, we're going to go legs overhead, okay? So the way we're going to do that is we're going to press off of the ground. I'm going to raise my legs up, push with my hands, push with my core, okay? Then I'm gonna come back down, go up, down, up, down, up. Now, as we're coming down, okay, we're gonna fold one leg in, the other leg is gonna come up. So one of our knees is off to the side, other knee is pointed up, foot folds underneath you, and then we're gonna reach to where we come up into a kneeling position, okay? So here, I'm gonna switch to the other side and come here. Switch to the other side. And come here. So this is going to be a little bit closer to the finish of our roll. So from here, you can come all the way up if you wish. Okay? So now we're going to combine our leg raise with our come up. Okay? So we're going to fold one leg in, bring the other one forward, and bring your feet as close as you can to you. That's going to help you come up. My feet are way out here. It's gonna be really hard for me to get up. So a really cool tip is just keep your feet close to your hips, and it makes it really easy to come up. So now we're combining both of those movements. So first, I'm gonna rock back, okay? Then as I come forward, I fold one leg. The other leg is gonna kind of chop down, and it's gonna curl. Okay, so if you want to practice that curl, you can. And then you can come up. So after that, then we're going to kind of focus on the beginning part of the roll. Okay, so we started with the middle and the end, because you want to be really comfortable in the middle and the end before you start. Because if you start and you don't understand the middle or the end, then those things are gonna mess up your nervous system, and you might either straighten out or do something that might get you hurt, okay? So always think of the end, okay? So we're gonna start right here in our tabletop, and we're just gonna start with a little bit of a stretch here. So I'm gonna reach across. I'm gonna keep one arm on the ground. It's gonna be bent. The other arm's gonna be straight. I'm gonna have my shoulder touching the ground, okay? So same thing on the other side. My right hand is gonna reach underneath my left hand. I'm gonna bend my left arm until I can get my shoulder on the ground, okay? So I can do a few of these. And then eventually what we're gonna be doing is shortening it to where we're just bending one arm and keeping the opposite arm straight, okay? It's gonna be closer to our start of our roll. So I want you to kind of just bring your elbow to the floor, okay? From here, we're gonna lean forward slowly, and we want our shoulder to touch the ground now. So I'm just leaning forward, switching, leaning forward, okay? And you're gonna notice as you lean forward, your opposite leg is gonna start coming up on its own. If it does that, that's totally fine. That's actually what you want to do. So I'm gonna get in this position, one arm up, forearm down, shoulder down, leg up. Arm up, forearm down, shoulder down, leg up. And now when your leg comes up, try to look at it, okay? That's gonna tell you where to put your head. So the hardest thing about rolling is you're worried about your head. You don't want anything to hit it because there's some important stuff in there. So when you're rolling, try to look at your foot that's coming up behind you, okay? That's gonna force you to turn your head in a way where you're not gonna make contact with any surfaces, okay? So hand down, elbow, shoulder, leg. And now, once I get into this position, my back leg is gonna start to elevate, okay? So I wanna try to see how high I can get to here. If I roll too far if I go too high up and I roll, that's totally fine. But I wanna have control, okay? So same thing, hand down, elbow, shoulder, foot, and notice how I'm looking directly at my foot right now. I'm gonna extend my back leg, and then my top leg, I wanna fold it in, okay? So then I go back, hand down, elbow down, shoulder down, leg up, looking at my foot, other leg drives, front top leg bends, and then all I have to do is finish the roll at that point, okay? So when we put it all together, it's gonna look like this, okay? We have our elbow, shoulder, leg, back leg, fold the front leg, push forward, and you notice how folded my foot in, other leg came up, I came up exactly in that manner, okay? So now we're gonna bring it up just a little bit more to where we're in a squatted position, okay? So this is gonna bring it a little bit higher. It's gonna increase the difficulty a little bit just because you kind of have to catch yourself now, okay? Which is gonna be our first warm-up, okay? You're just gonna let your body fall forward, catch, and then push yourself back, okay? Now, as you're letting your body fall forward, we'll add that elbow that we did earlier. But first, I want you to get comfortable with shifting, okay? So we're gonna bring one knee down, bring it up, one knee down, bring it up, okay? So we're just going back and forth. This is a really nice hip warm-up, but it's gonna get us used to having that strong structure when we make it down, okay? So here, I switch, elbow, hand, and then I can keep going, okay? Elbow, hand, and I can keep going. Once I get to here, Then I can start bringing my shoulder down, and you see how this leg comes up. I'm looking at my foot, driving with that back leg, coming forward, folding, folding, coming up, okay? So I can go backwards. I can do the other side, okay? So left knee comes down, left elbow comes down, right hand goes down, left shoulder goes down, right leg goes up. Looking at my right leg, left leg extends, right leg bends, and then you just bring it all the way through, okay? So next, we're gonna start from a standing position, okay? So now it's getting a little bit harder because we're closer to the ground or further away from the ground, and it's gonna kind of add a little bit more of a danger, just because, you know, if you fall from just a standing position, you can hurt yourself. So instead of going straight down from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically do a split squat. So I'm gonna have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and I'm just gonna get down low and come up, okay? Facing the camera, it looks like this. Come low, then I come up. Facing the other way, okay? I get low, then I come up. So now as I'm getting low, I'm here, okay? I wanna actually put my hands towards where my back leg is, because my right knee, my lead leg, that's the one that's gonna actually come down, okay? So when you're first learning this, you can let your left or your right knee touch the ground, but eventually you're gonna be going before this even gets a chance to touch the ground. If you're going slow and controlled, there's no problem with your knee going on the ground. But if you're going fast, I don't recommend putting your knees on the ground, okay? It's gonna hurt. So we're gonna go back to our split squat. I'm gonna come down, hands go towards the side of the back leg, okay? So if my right leg is down, my right hand comes down, my left elbow is gonna come down eventually, okay? But my left elbow needs to come down, which means that my right knee needs to come down as well, okay? So we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna push ourselves back up, okay? So our goal really is to get down to our elbow and get back up to your split squat, okay? You can switch sides. So here I get down low, hand goes down, elbow down, knee comes down, okay? And now I want you to really reach in front of you. That's gonna help you get a lot more distance and a lot more better spacing on your roll, okay? Because if I put my arms too close, then my elbow runs into my arm, and at that point I'm just getting in my own way. So I get down, I reach forward, elbow, knee, and I press myself back up, okay? So now, once we have all of that, then we can put it all together, okay? So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a sideways look at that first one, and then we're just gonna put everything together. So we have our split squat, okay? I'm reaching, elbow, knee, shoulder, foot, and then we go, okay? So one more time. Split squat, reach, elbow, knee, shoulder, leg, and roll, okay? Once you start getting really comfortable with it, you can do it a lot quicker, and you're gonna notice that my knee is actually not even gonna touch the ground, okay? So when I'm going here, I have my split squat, and I roll, okay? So one more time, split squat, and I'm pretty much just driving myself forward and rolling, okay? So one more time, split squat, reach, and roll. So this is gonna be our basic warm-up and our basic roll, and then we're gonna add some more stuff in a little bit. All right, everybody, so now we're gonna work on rolling over an obstacle. So things to be mindful of is how close you actually get to the thing that you're rolling over. So I'm gonna start with 1 foot forward, okay? And now, I don't wanna be too close to the object because I need room to kinda reach, okay? If I'm too close, then my hip or my leg is gonna hit right at the edge and you're gonna get a big old nasty bruise, okay? So I wanna step a little bit far away from the block, and you can kind of feel out what your spacing is. You don't have to just go for it on the first try. So step, and then if you're like, feels a little bit too far away, I can take a little closer step, okay? I can put my right hand down, since my left foot is forward, left elbow down, right leg goes up, and now the difference between rolling over a block and rolling over the floor is gonna be, I'm gonna need to kind of add a little bit of a jump to get my weight over the obstacle, okay? So as I'm going, I'm gonna step, my hands are gonna do exactly what they've been doing. So one hand down, other elbow goes down. So whichever leg is forward, that's the elbow you want down, okay? So I go here. Now I wanna practice my hop. So I wanna swing my leg up, and as I do that, I'm gonna hop off of my supporting leg. So now, once I get my hop, then I'll be ready to move on to the next part of the roll, okay? But first, I want you guys to just practice getting your step and your hop, okay? Step, post, hop. Step, post, hop, okay? Next, we're gonna finish, so we're gonna do the end of the roll. So for the end of the roll, that you just wanna sit at the end of the obstacle that you're going over. You're gonna do the same rolls that we did for our warm-up, so we're just rocking forwards and backwards. But when we rock forwards, we're gonna come up with one leg, then the other leg, okay? So when you go up, I want you to lead with one leg, you're gonna switch, and then when you go down, you're gonna drive this leg down, and then come up, okay? So when you're doing it, it should be fairly smooth. Okay, so you're just going up, switching, and coming up. So now that we have the finish of our roll, then we're gonna get started with the whole thing, okay? So, as I'm coming up to it, just think of it this way. Boom, here's my walk up, there's my step. Okay, I'm gonna place my hands on the block. As my leg goes up, I'm gonna look at it and bring my shoulder down to the ground as my body starts to come up from that hop. Okay, so here, okay, so if you noticed, so my leg went back and I hopped, put my shoulder down, and then just finished the roll normally. And then the way I finished with the roll was one leg at a time, okay? Now the reason we want to finish with one leg at a time is because it's going to give us a lot more smoother of a transition when we finish our roll. Because if I roll and I keep my legs together, it's going to feel weird, and the momentum might carry me over until like I face plant or something, okay? So what we want to do here is we want to go one leg at a time so that we can keep walking if we need to, okay? So one more time. All right, everybody, so now we're gonna work on our landing rolls, okay? Now, really important with this is that we understand that when you're landing, when you're jumping off of anything, you're taking a big risk, okay? So you wanna make sure that you have all the tools necessary so you can take those risks, okay? So, you know, if you think about, if you ever see your parents working with, you know, power tools or anything that might be a little dangerous, they have the proper equipment, they use the proper tools, okay? When you're doing movement skills, it's no different. You wanna make sure you have the proper tools for safety so that you don't end up going into the hospital, okay? It's the last thing we want right now. So we're gonna start with a squat, okay? If you remember with our earlier warm-up, we did our shift, and then we brought our hands down and then we rolled. That's gonna be a similar movement to what we're gonna be doing, okay? But first we wanna work on strengthening our legs so we have the tools to actually receive impact on landing, okay? Now the best way to develop this is actually through jump squats, okay? So regular squats, you are strengthening your legs, but you're not working so much on absorbing impact. And that's kind of what we want here, okay? So what I want to do is I want to squat down, then I want to jump, and I want to absorb as much of that impact as I come down, okay? I don't want to jump and land with straight legs because all of that force can get me hurt, okay? So first we're just going to do a few jump squats. And then, once we make it down, we're going to start our roll. Okay, so I'm going to do my jump squat. Once I make it to the bottom position, hands are going to go down, elbow, knee, leg, and I roll. Okay, so I can go to the other side. Okay, jump squat. Okay, so that's gonna get us used to taking in that force. Okay, now, once we get really, really comfortable, we can start with an elevated surface, okay? Now, once you go up, you wanna go up in increments. You don't wanna start off really, really high. So you don't know if you can do that yet. Okay, start off small. You can do that and add a little bit more weight, okay? So we're gonna be up here on our obstacle. Probably can't see me right now, but that's all right. I'm gonna jump down into my squat first, okay? Now I wanna make sure that I'm comfortable with that before I start rolling, okay? That's why I don't want you to start with a really high surface. So, I'm gonna do that a few times, okay? So I'm gonna jump down, and if I want to kind of keep making my legs stronger, I can turn and then pop back up, okay? So you can turn that into a whole thing. So I can land here, pop, okay? So once we get really comfortable with that, now we add the roll, okay? So I'm gonna come down and roll. Okay, so one more time. I'm gonna come down now. I don't want that pause in the middle. So I don't want to jump, land, pause, and roll. I want to keep it as one continuous motion. So at first you're gonna start with pauses just because you're learning how to connect the two. But eventually it should be seamless, okay? So I'm just gonna land and roll, okay? So I'm gonna do that a few more times, and then we'll be done.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.